Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show. This the preview of Gameweek 23. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome my co-host Azmin. Welcome. How are you?
Ugh, uh, I just stopped being annoyed at FPL yesterday, so yeah, I'm in a better place now. Long story short,
All right. I think both of us kind of like feeling the low side of FPL this Gameweek 22 last week because we scored kind of low. I think I scored the lowest um, comparing in game week 3, the lowest in the season. Okay, so I scored 32 points. Later we can share our team. But it is a low scoring week anyway. The average point was 40 points.
yeah, that's because a lot of people had a 15-pointer on their bench by the name of Dorgu, who decided to score and keep a clean sheet against Manchester City. So that's definitely something to an achievement there that you totally no one expected that to happen. But yeah, fair play and good stuff. Um, for those who somehow managed to get him onto the starting lineup. But yeah, that's FPL for you. And if you, oh god, it's now that I mentioned Dogo, I don't want to even because once I see my team, I don't know if you guys know my
Let,
team, but
let's go to our team. Dorgo
yeah,
is our poster boy. I scored only 32 points. You can see there, I'm on red arrow for sure. 53,000 down to 78,000. The good thing, I'm still inside the 100K, which is still nice. And yourself got 43 points, which is higher than the average point. And you can see, particularly your bench, later you can talk about it. You scored
what?
37 points there on the bench. So that's what it is. But I don't think you're going to play those particular players in the form of Dogu facing City anyway. So let's talk to about my team first. Kelleher
Yeah.
in goal, 1 points. Brentford lost 2-0 against Chelsea. Those one of those days. So I won't devalue in terms of what Kelly has been contributing to my team. Arsenal kept a clean sheet. So the double defense last week was a good one. If you have Raya, you got 6 points. Myself have Timber, only 5 points, yellow carded, and Gabriel with 2 bonus points. So he is genuinely the best Arsenal player that you should have. Not Saka, not even Rice. So Gabriel, 8 points, and you can see there, I put him on as my vice captain. If let's say Haaland suddenly turns up not playing against City against United, but it is what it is. Sunderland did not keep the clean sheet. They conceded 1 goal. Adelante got yellow card. But if you have Bukile, you got 6 points because he got an assist. Right? And for yourself, you got Ballard to DC points,
FCON,
I believe, right? Okay. So
FCON.
other than that, you can see blank all over the place in my front lineup. Saka coming off from the bench, 1 pointer, nothing from there. So I'm a bit surprised with that Saka benching with Madueke and Martinelli starting the game. Cunha also coming off the bench, but luckily he produced an assist, so get 4 points. But he could get another assist before being ruled out. Mason Mount goal from VAR. So I could easily got another assist from Cunha. But 4 points is better than 1 point. Foden, the same situation like Saka, but the difference is he start the game and sub off halftime. The rumors is that he injured, but later we'll tell about Champions League lineup because Foden did start the game. Bruno G did not return game Wolves. So means that his run of double-digit haul ends last week. He only
Yep.
got 3 points with 1 clean sheet, but spoiler a bit, he also can be a potential injury based on the Champions League lineup. Haaland blank, 2 points. Thiago blank and Mane did not return against Newcastle. 32 points. I think I better have this. My team. I was praying that Cunha or Saka coming off the bench, not to let that already -1 point coming into my team. So that's. How about your teammate?
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, for me, Donnarumma, City, yeah, totally unexpected. But fortunately, some saves, make him allow. He was on 5 saves. I was hoping for another save so he get, an extra point, but that didn't happen. My transfers, because I took a -4, so
Oh,
my transfer was Palmer to Rice, and I captained him. Rice blanked, but no biggie because I don't think anyone's popular captains got anything anyway. But Palmer did score, but looking back, and I'm still comfortable because I'm not comfortable. After now we know from what we know, and then what Maresca Rosin
yeah,
comments about
Rosman.
Palmer. I'm not happy with having him, because there'll always be a fitness concern. Even though he did score a penalty, he was very he didn't do much most of the game. In fact, Brentford were quite unlucky in that respect. My what made it become a -4 was because I also decided to finally get rid of Guardiola, who I had hung on to despite him being out,
Mm.
and brought in Frimpong because I was scared of Tiao. I thought Wolves are not going to Newcastle are not going to be able to keep a clean sheet against a much improved Wolves, and unfortunately they did. And my Tiao scored 9 points right there, down there, as you can see. Then Gabriel, we both have. Balat, we mentioned earlier. Bruno G, we both have. Bruno Fernandes continues to be a great early pickup for me, so I'm very happy with that. It really helped me from my team being worse. Now I get to play him against Arsenal. Hopefully he does well, and where I reap those rewards before everyone brings him in Game Week 24.
Oh,
Uh, Rogers blanking again. Okay, another bad decision, deciding to field Krupi instead of Tavernier. I knew that Tavernier was lacking on penalties, but I just thought Krupi playing as a number 10 would have better shots and chances. That didn't happen, and both were subbed off at around the 72nd minute. But of course, in Tavernier's case, it's an injury. So, yeah, as much as I'm happy at least, but I now have a problem to deal with for Tavernier. DCL blanks again, and I'm starting to wonder: has DCL's run come to an end? Do I hop it off and only got one thing from one return for my troubles, and the other one where he did, and I benched him? Yeah, maybe it's not my destiny. So yeah, and on the bench, Dubravka scoring 5, much better than Donnarumma because they drew against Burnley and Dubravka against Liverpool, and Dubravka pulled it off. And Dogu 15 pointer, which is well, I was never gonna play him, and as
yeah,
you can see,
yeah,
my
yeah.
bench, yeah.
I don't think people should blame benching Dorgu last week. We don't
I think
expect him
crazy
to.
on hindsight when I look back, I was more scared of Wolves versus Newcastle than City versus United because I put Tiao at the very far end. So, but yeah, but in hindsight, it was correct because Dogu scored much better. So, but then in the end, it doesn't matter. I'm on the bench anyway. So very disappointing when, of course, with the hit. Actually, my points were 39, but my bench
Mhm.
alone was 37 points,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
That's
was
crazy.
so annoying at the end of the week after when the game is over, all the scores I looked at, screw this, and I stopped looking at FPL for a couple of days just to get back to my kids and just take some time off and simmer away. And yesterday, I started looking back at it and I just had a bit laugh, and 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 we'll see what impact it has on this week's decisions.
I don't think you should blame yourself, definitely, because Dubravka, you're never going to play over Donnarumma. Tavernier may be a questionable thing whether you should play
Yeah,
over Krupi, but it is your decision. Dorgu, you're never going to play against
yeah.
City, who
It's
on
it's
paper should
basically
be a
it's
better, right?
it's basically Tavernier and Tiao, and Dubravka and Doggo is not a big deal. Tavernier because my international teammate told me, Tavernier has so many more routes to
Okay.
to
Yeah.
to points, and because in the absence of Mignon, he'll be taking more of the dead balls, So yeah, I regret my decision now. Not so biggie because now it doesn't feel so big deal anymore because now he's injured. Yeah,
Mhm.
but Tiao might be someone I may finally start to remove because I think Newcastle's fixtures are going to turn,
Okay.
and they got a really tough run of lineups, and at the same time they also have Champions League one more match to worry about. So that's something we can talk about later.
Yeah. I think another player that also not that under radar, but he is someone that people thinking that he could have made some return in the form of Morgan Rogers, because he had some chances, 6 shots against Everton. Villa did lose against Everton, but Rogers could easily have 2 big chances to score a goal. So I think there's some miss in terms of outcome. But if you keep faith, you have Rogers, the future could turn better for sure. But we know that Rogers can be this kind of player in terms of returning point. You cannot expect him to deliver every week. Right?
I did
Okay.
some, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I did some calculations. I would have ended up on like 70 points or something. It's crazy. And never mind. That's the past. Move on.
I think at least you already have set Bruno Fernandes your team, where people are chasing his signature inside the team. He's already risen to 9.2 million. He could also have another price.
And the other thing is, of course, I don't have the popular headaches to worry about, the O'Reillys, the Fodens, all these issues. I do have to think about getting a Tavernier, but that's not really a headache. It's more because I know that he's injured. Whereas you have problems with Foden and Cunha, O'Reilly in terms of the minutes. Are they going to play? That kind of dilemma. At least I don't have to hurt my head thinking about. So yeah. Okay. Oh no.
Sorry, So I think we have some connection issue, but we are back. All right. So let's have a quick look, in terms of how the team of the week for Gameweek 22. Mana lah tahu we can actually pointed out some players that maybe great. Sanchez, who Chelsea kept a clean sheet against Brentford. He got, I believe, 3 bonus points, and he got 11 pointers. So last week or before the week, I heard is the top of the town. But Sanchez could be, and Chelsea having for the next 5 game weeks, excellent feature. If you're thinking about a goalkeeper department, why not? Sanchez could be an option, right? We can see there Dorgu, you mentioned about 15 points. Bruno Fernandes, Dorgu is the top scorer for game week 22. He's also in our thumbnail. Other than that, 9 pointer from Justin, Leeds United, Thiaw, your player and O'Brien from Everton, who kept a clean sheet. I think that's unlikely result where people are expecting Aston Villa to win that game. Worse, I think he kind of returned for the past 4 weeks, right? So another 10 pointer there against Blee. I think blank for Ekitike, blank for Sobosla, missing a penalty. Words clicking, and could he continue and could be the option for Liverpool? Something to ponder for sure. I don't think people will jump into those West Ham assets, the likes of Somerville and okay, 10 and 9 points, but they are there. Robbie with 9 points and Jeremy Pino from Crystal Palace 9 points. If you see that not a lot of double-digit points here, we can see how sucks the result from last game week 22. From 20 teams, 8 teams keeping clean sheet. So not a lot of goals there you can see.
Yeah, it's very disappointing, but of course, those who have faith in the defense, like for example, Chelsea defenders, and even players like Rodon, against Fulham, getting clean sheets. Everton, for those who risked it, Tarkowski hoping for the DEFCON and rewarded with a clean sheet. That's great. And of course, those who doubled up on Arsenal defense. Those, they didn't score, but heck, they kept the clean sheets. And of course, Newcastle against Wolves. So, but when you come back to the team of the week, to play, people Thiaw would be a player a lot of people may have, and and possibly Words, but that's about it. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes, who was not a popular this week and the previous week as well after he got injured. And of course, Dorgu, who people may have had, but most put him on the bench. I've seen a couple who didn't, but I think majority did just dump him on the bench. So it's not really a surprise there. So now at the end of the day, as you say, most of these players are not players that you would expect to actually field or pick. Sanchez is possible, but the fact that Sanchez is on 11 just goes to show how dire that game was. Yeah, for Chelsea's attack. And Brentford were horribly unlucky, and I wouldn't see. But then Chelsea do have a good run of matches coming up soon. So, those who already have him will probably just stick through with him. Words is someone I am looking at because I do wonder now that Salah is back as well, and they did a good job dismantling Marseille last night. So it's definitely Liverpool assets. We can start looking at them again. But of course, the Champions League thing is still there. They've auto qualified. They definitely will make it to the knockout rounds, but they still hunting for that auto qualification spot to get into the round 16. But that's something we can talk about later. I'm just happy I have Bruno Fernandes out of this 11. So I'm guessing you don't have a single player in here, right?
Yeah, I don't have any player here for sure.
Yeah. It just goes to show. But then Jeremy, who Crystal Palace, we those of us following the news, what's going on there, and now Glasner, now they think you're firing Glasner because of those comments he made. It's so sad what's going on with Crystal Palace, but and it's probably best to avoid unless something happens. It's still the transfer window is still open, so we want to see what happens there.
Yes, I think let's talk about the United and City results. We did discuss offline whether this is the resurgence from United with Carrick in place as the new interim manager, or City are badly performed, and they continue to badly perform in the Champions League away to Bordeaux, and they lost 3-1, which is unlikely result from City. So there's a lot of itchy finger thinking about the City assets. Okay, I think we can discuss later because we plan to look at the lineup for Champions League for these teams and predict whether these players are going to play this week or how their minutes. But let's stick with United first. Bruno Fernandes, double-digit points and assists, and easily could be the main player for United moving forward. I think he plays as a number 10. Carrick plays him for that. So he could easily got another goal of rule offside. So looks like he needs to be in our team.
Yes, I watched that match. It was insane. He was everywhere and doing everything, so involved. It's ridiculous, and it's like he's just released from the shackles of Amorim playing him as a deep lying midfielder or central midfielder, whatever it is. When it's clearly hit, obviously there are issues in terms trying to figure out that defensive midfield, but and because Amorim wanted to fit in Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko, all these players picked up, purchased for the season. So there's an obligation to play them. So hence why Amorim did what he did. Maybe, I don't know. But now with Carrick coming in, his task is to steady the ship. Couldn't give a crap what in terms of who purchased who, whatever. Of course, but at the same time, you had Mbeumo returning, and Cunha got benched. So it shows that Carrick's not afraid to make those decisions, and it paid off well. And the other thing, of course, is Dorgu, who we weren't even sure whether he was going to start this one, but he did start. And there was news, there was some noise coming out of the Manchester United camp saying how he was showing a lot of hard work and perseverance in training, but for some reason Amorim wasn't putting him into the starting line. He wasn't being given enough chances, and we don't know if that's true or something. We'll never know for sure, but he has been given a chance now, and looks like he's really making use of it. And we see, and if you watch the match, you see he goes forward quite a bit. surprisingly very much so. So definitely as a if he continues to play in that role, then I think it's a great pick. Definitely, if you don't have him, might want to consider picking him up as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, maybe after this week again against Arsenal, people are like wait another week. But yeah, um,
I
definitely
think,
it's
yeah,
considered a cheap pick.
I think interesting to see. Yes, they got a result at home for sure. The fans will be up to it. City without a proper centre backs. They did sign Gehi, but he did not feature in that game. And you can see there, City are in defensively are not there. But the next game, we'll definitely see how Carrick will line up against Arsenal, the best team in the division right now. Away some more, and then after that, maybe, yes, you mentioned about Bruno Fernandes' potential. He could be the number one player that we should get, but how about the rest? Should we double up and so on? It's still a question mark. Bomo up front. How about Cunha position? Whether he play on the left side, or will he still mainstay at the bench? But I do feel if I'm in current position, why I want to make change, right, from last game week.
Exactly. Yeah, got a result against City, and of course, circumstances being a City's injury backline, versus Arsenal's backline, which is pretty much almost first, yeah, except for maybe Calafiori, for example. But Timbers on that side already covered. So, um, yeah, so it's you're probably not going to get that result that we saw against City, but we are going to get. We can see that they are going to get that same old endeavor and desire. So definitely that alone, in terms of spirit, how they looking like they're loving it, I think it's definitely worth looking at in terms of doubling up. Even Mbuemo as well. Yeah. So Mbuemo, Dogo, Fernandez. I can't see anyone else yet. Maybe the keeper if they can
The
start.
one player you haven't mentioned, Ahmad, I think he also an excellent
Yeah,
player.
it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, because we know that Ahmad was played as a wing back for Amorim. So definitely, how we seen he scored a goal, didn't he, as well? So um, I want to see more. I like it.
Okay. Because he an excellent value at 6.5 million or something like that. So I think that's another thing that we should consider. But maybe we should not overboard in terms of what. Yes, they got result. Let's see Arsenal game and then evaluate, because in terms of fixture ticker, later we see. The fixture swing is happening in Gameweek 24 and not so much in 23. Let's take a look in terms of Champions League lineup, man. So we can at least just discuss,
Mm.
because we're talking about Arsenal, City, the Chelsea, the Liverpool, and also Newcastle. And that's the main team that
Yeah.
features in Champions League. Let's show the first team, which is the Man City lineup. So
Yeah.
you can see there who did start in this game. Just want to mention about Semenyo. They are not able to play in the Champions League. Same goes to McGahey. But after that, in the European playoff, let's say that's the situation, I think they is eligible to play. It's depending on how the City will register their players. But from this lineup, we can see there, uh, still no Matheus Nunes, right? And Adnuri have to play on the right side, or really on the left side. Rico Lewis, Rodri, and Reinder, Cherki, Foden, and Haaland. And what mattered in this game, you can see from that lineup on the right side, the only player who come in is Omar Mamouche at 70 minutes replacing Foden, and the rest are playing full 90 minutes, including Cherki. No Doku coming in, and also uh, the likes of Savinho and so on, right? So
Yeah.
uh, Foden is the talking point. Why do you think Foden did start this game? So injury should not be a problem, but how about his minutes?
Yeah, the question with Foden is that unlike everyone else, he was the only player who got subbed off. So
Yeah.
and it bodes well um in terms of everyone else who would probably be more tired. But at the same time, you have to wonder, City were losing, so Are you taking off Foden because he wasn't good enough, and so that change formation? So that's the problem here. So everyone, what makes people will continue to keep Foden is because he got subbed off. He's the only guy, so most likely he'll start. But the reality of the thing is that City lost this game. So that's 2 games in a row for City's loss. So what is Pep going to do to shake things up? And the fact that they lost, they are not in the automatic position for qualification for the rounds of 16. Have to go for the knockout, which is not great. So which means that the next game, which is midweek next week, they have to win that one to have a good chance of making it into the top 8 and saving themselves from 2 extra knockout games that they have to play. So which makes you wonder, there's a lot of talk about Pep saying Haaland being tired, so, but then he still played him for the full 90 here. So what's going to happen? And is there a concern that he might be benched against Wolves? Because theoretically, looking at the fixtures, that might be the game to rest him. But can Pep risk benching him? So there you take a look. So Wolves. Then after that is Galatasaray. That's a must-win for them. After that, Spurs, Newcastle. What is that? I can't see.
They have Carabao Cup semi-final.
Spurs, Newcastle, Carabao Cup semi-final. Although to be fair, they have one step in it.
Okay.
But then they still need to win, and then Liverpool, who are a bit more better right now. So that when is he gonna rest? So the argument based on all those, the easiest match for him to rest will be the Wolves game. But can Pep afford to rest him, given that City have lost back to back?
Yep.
Does he trust Mamouche enough now he's back? I don't know. That is the question, and this is why. While we all have Haaland, I guess the question: and are we comfortable captaining him? He's home against Wolves. It looks like, what kind of stupid remark is this? Well, why is it so? They playing the bottom team, so why wouldn't they? You captain him? But this is where the press conference will be really important to decide. Because it's the only worry is that he gets benched. If he plays, fine. If you know he's going to play, fine. But
that's why people are talking about potentially Foden to Bruno Fernandes, despite United playing away to Arsenal. But there is a concern. We did mention about Doku and Semenyo. They should come in against Wolves, right? Potentially, because they need that 3 points, and those are the 2 players who are not featuring in this game. Yeah.
So because this is the other problem I've always had with Pep. If you notice that, he doesn't use his subs very much. He's never been one to always, change tactically or adjust, and so that's that I feel is a. I mean, that midfield not working. Why can't you just, in terms of tactics, so you discuss this in some Twitter or sorry, X or Blue Sky. Can he not play long ball and just? I mean, got Pokok Klapper right in front of there up there, who can win the ball there. Can't they do that? Who cares if it's a old tactic, or unsophisticated tactic? The point is you want to win, and now because you and at the same time now you didn't use your subs to try to change the game. You didn't do anything aggressive. You will lose to Bodo, who have never won against a Premier League team until now. And now you've put in a position where you are not yet. You have to win your last match to get into the top 8, and for other results to fall your way to stand a chance. And because of all the injuries, the team's exhausted. The last thing you want is 2 additional matches, which is, honestly speaking, that's quite likely at this point.
Yep. So to summarize, I think we looking at the fixture uncertainty of City lineup will be there. If Foden is a worry, then you can move on. But if you still trust, potentially theoretically he been start off 70 minutes, maybe he could start. But I think crucial, like Azmin mentioned, the pressure is important. How Pep going to mention how his team going to, if he gives some hint. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go next one, man. The Arsenal team. Okay.
Let's do Arsenal.
What I can say is for Gabriel Owner and Declan Rice, they did not start this game. You can see there they come on later, which is for Gabriel at 75th minute, for Mascara, and then Rice for AZ at 64 minutes. So I can safely say they got their rest. Same for Timber, he did start but sub off in 64 minutes, so potentially he can still be the mainstay inside Arsenal lineup, because Arsenal are going to face United this weekend. And then, but I think the surprise one could be he rested Saka against Forest, but he started this game for 90 minutes. And can we trust Saka minutes during the weekend? Potentially, maybe against United. What do you think, man?
It's just insane, lah. This whole thing. We in this position where I'm wondering with the Haaland and Saka gets rotated. It does. It feels like a different alternate reality that we're living in. But yeah. Anyway, so Arsenal Bayern top. You know, the Arsenal won 3-1, and of course, so yeah, I guess you could argue it's justified. And Arsenal definitely are auto qualified. Although to be fair, even before this match, you could say they've qualified anyway. Yeah, they've already qualified. Mathematically, it's not possible for other teams to beat them. Yeah, so to kick them out of the top 8, so they were always qualified. But then they still, Arteta still fielded a strong team. I guess they need to put a statement or something against Bayern. And yep, Gabriel we know that Gabriel was coming back from an injury, so I think it was great. It was smart for Arteta to rest him and only coming in at 30 minutes to steady the ship, just in case, because it was 3-1. And Eze getting some time, although I don't know what's going on with Eze. There's a lot of rumors, he's not working hard enough, but I don't know. But at the moment, he's not threatening anyone for any spot. Yeah. So the question now is between Trossard and Martinelli, because I think based on this is arguably a full strength lineup without Rice and Gabriel. Arguably Luis Kelly and Califiori lah. So, but other than that, it's almost a full strength lineup. So the question is now, I think we can agree that Trossard is first choice left wing. Yeah, and he played 79 minutes here. But will he play against Wolves? Again, there's the rotation issue. Sorry, Arsenal not playing against Wolves. Sorry.
United.
Not playing against United. So if it was Wolves, it was a difference. It'd be easier. So question is, how are they gonna approach the United match? Because they're gonna see their last weekend match and think, okay, we can't take them lightly anymore. They seem to have got chuchot some, I don't know, some extra energy. Jesus, I think we can safely say that regardless of his goals, he's not gonna start. He'll be back to Gyökeres. But Trossard is the issue. I don't know what's the story there. With the Martinelli might just start, because it depends on how Arteta looks at the Wolves game. So if he thinks that I can rest some players there, but see, I keep saying Wolves again. sorry.
You mean United.
So the thing is, because for the last Champions League game, they can feel that team, so they don't have to worry. So they can focus on the league. They've already automatically qualified for the Champions League already, right at the top. They'll finish first or second. That's
If I have luxury transfer, I mean Rice rested, he definitely going to start against United. And
yes.
Saka got out of nowhere when you're benching last week. So macam, Arteta could actually do that, but I don't think he will do that for United, right?
Yeah, surely Saka will play. And Mos apa Makiet. What's your
Madueke.
player's name?
Madueke.
Madueke. Oh my God, yeah, plays for in the last Champions League game. Surely Saka plays 90. Although, but it does make me wonder why did he have to play 90 in this one? That's the thing. He subbed out Trossard. He subbed out Timber, but not Saka. It's a bit of a confusion. But if I don't have Saka, but if I did, I'm not gonna sell him. I'm not gonna sell him even against United. Might as well play him and see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, Arsenal are at home, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So,
okay, trust your players. Okay, but I
Trust
think
your
if trust whoever you have right now. So if let's say Gabriel should win it, if you are Gabriel and Rice owner, you're definitely happy because they are not starting this game.
yeah, basically, who you have keep, but it's not the week to bring in extra players, I guess.
Okay, let's go to the next team, which is Chelsea. I think Chelsea also have some interest. I haven't looked up why those 46-minute substitution Sanchez coming for Jorgensen. Not sure whether there is any injury. So that's what happened. Pretty much there. I think the big one, Palmer did not play at all in this game. He rested, and Liam did mention about managing his injury. So that's why. So I think Azmin did touch about minute risk on Palmer. This is the situation. It can happen. It's not played in midweek. He plays during the weekend for Premier League game. But there are a lot of games coming up. So whether Liam continue going to rotate Palmer, it will be continue question for us. So who else in this team that people are also looking at? Chalobah did not play, so I guess he will be coming back this weekend. James sub out 46 minutes for Esteval, if you want to go there. Enzo Fernandez played the whole minute. Caicedo scored the only goal for this game, but I don't think people are going to invest on him. So João Pedro going to share minutes with Liam Delap. So Neto could be another option, but he's more expensive than Fernandez, and he played 90 minutes for this Champions League match. So a lot of, I think Palmer question is before looking at this game, I was thinking like, okay, maybe Palmer does score last week, right? Could be the starting bandwagon, but his minutes still a concern.
Yeah, I think it's a big concern, and I don't like what Rosinho said. Rosinho said that he didn't play because he felt something in the game against Brentford quite early on, but then he continued to play the full 90. It was like, why would you do that? And what are you risking? Because Palmer said he can continue. But looking at the game, he wasn't great. So now, so as a result, he wasn't even on the bench for this one, but his minutes are surely his minutes will be managed, because I just can't see him. And the thing is, if he subs out early, it makes Enzo a better pick. So Enzo, we put to the back burner with Palmer returning, and I also sold Enzo bought Palmer. But now, looking at the state of injury of Palmer, who just hasn't looked as great as he used to, and it does seem like Enzo might be the one who benefits of it. Penalties will still be Palmer's until he gets subbed off, and then Enzo takes over. So at a cheaper price, Enzo is still the man. As obviously he's the captain, and he still does those runs into the box, to try to score goals. Aside from that, the Reece James substitution is nothing really. It was just a bad one, just like the Jorgensen Sanchez one. We know that with James' side, they are carefully managing his minutes, and I guess after Maresca, Rosinho is doing the same. I'm pretty sure Reece James will return to the starting lineup for the weekend as well. Yeah, Garnacho, who this guy better super sub je lah. Macam bila dia start je macam tak apa.
Tak jadi,
Kalau
tak
dia
jadi.
sub apalagi power. But at the same time, and also Dilap, Pedro just avoid lah. You just can't figure that out. And even if they start, you don't know if they'll score. So not good picks to have. But yeah, we might see Palmer, we might not. I don't know. It doesn't look great, but if we can assure that Gusto starts, you might want to look at Gusto. But Cucurella isn't there. He came on as a sub in the 70th minute, so you expect him to start. But if you can find out in the press conference if Gusto starts, he might be a gutsy pick to look at, because we know that previously he scored 2 goals the other day.
I mean, he can have potential scoring double digit.
Yeah, but we just but then a few matches later he didn't start, so it's like yeah. But then again, that was under Maresca, so under Rosenio we still need to see. So yeah,
I think you
probably invest in defenders. If you want someone cheap, go for Fofana. Otherwise, who's the other guy that starts with C? Chaloba who didn't start. Yeah, so Chaloba is the best pick because DEFCON wise, and the chance to get bonus. Cucurella's great, but then last season, but then he's never been as, he doesn't have much attacking output that he did, like compared to last season. So Chaloba would be my pick here, and Reece James if you fancy a bit of risk. Enzo is a good long term in midfield. That's about it.
But I just want to point out about Enzo Fernandez, someone who had him in team. I had him for 4 weeks, but just to manage expectation, sometimes you just need to bear with him because it's not someone kind of like going to produce you points. I have him for 4 weeks. The last week I had him, he scored at 11 points. Other than that, he blanked. So you just need to manage your expectation. He in terms of XG, he has potential, but sometimes the outcome is not there. Okay. But I do agree, Enzo could be the one that you should look at instead of Palmer, who his minutes are just a concern. Let's go next one, mate, which is your team, Liverpool. There's also people who have Liverpool assets. Mo Salah already coming back into the team after returning from AFCON. I did not watch his game, but the comment is Salah looks good. Okay, but words are coming there. So Bosley already gonna have the penalty kick anymore because Salah is there. Anyway, Iketike, some people still have him for this game. Gakpo rested and coming off the bench for Iketike. But for Salah, so Bosley played the whole 90 minutes. The rest, Words sub out in 79 minutes, but potentially he could play this weekend game. So in terms of Liverpool, man, what do you think in terms of the players, the likes of the manager who still have Soboslai, Ekitike, Words?
Well, yeah, I mean, Words is fine because I think those who took the part with him are reaping the rewards, and he continues to play, and Liverpool are winning. I know quite a lot of my friends are pissed off at Soboslai during the weekend. Supposedly, the first penalty he's ever missed in his career. And to top it off, he just decides to screw us over even more by scoring in this Marseille game. It will just piss people off even more. On my part, because I had Frimpong and it was so annoying after Burnley, and then I saw Frimpong was starting. I know that Frimpong was likely to start, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But when I woke up in the morning and I saw and then looked at the highlights, I thought Frimpong worked really well with Salah in this formation. So this might be the right way to go. Frimpong and Kerkez being able to push out a lot more, grabbing back McAllister, supporting Gomez and Van Dijk. Salah pushed up as almost like a second striker with Ekitike. He didn't score, but there's plenty of it that I liked, and it made me theoretically look at hypothetically bringing Salah in. If I want to bring Salah in, how would I do it? Obviously there's Arsenal match in the horizon, but yeah, I just like how Liverpool played after seeing some of the highlights. I don't know if people still have Ekitike, and to be fair, it's a bit frustrating. But whoever watched this match would like what you see, and against Bournemouth, there should be no reason to sell. Just now I said Arsenal in the horizon. It's not Arsenal, it's City that's in the horizon. My mistake there.
Imagine, man. Yes. Now Salah coming back. Okay, people pun tak look at Salah yet. Imagine he scored against Bournemouth this weekend. Maybe one goal, maybe an assist, got double-digit haul. I think people will start scrambling to get him in Gameweek 24. I can imagine that situation.
Yeah, that's why I'm in that mood of, do I get him in early kind of thing, but then it's just not feasible unless I sacrifice, well, you know who lah. But it's still a wait. See, I think those of us who are Soboslai or words Ekitike will keep for the Bournemouth match and see what happens. And I'm not so angry with Frimpong anymore. And I hope that although he blanked last week, hopefully he'll come back against Bournemouth this week.
This could be the last game before Liverpool facing two tough match on paper, at least City and Newcastle, if I'm right. So then...
at the same time, they still need to win to assure themselves of the auto qualification for the Champions League. Yeah, but at least they're in a better position than City are.
I think from that 6 Premier League teams inside the top 8 currently, and City just outside. So that shows how the Premier League teams are up there.
Yeah, it's amazing. You got Arsenal, you got Newcastle, you got Liverpool. That's quite fun to see how they're dominating.
So means that English team are dominating for sure. Last but not least, quick one on Newcastle lineup, man. Which is, I think we just want to touch about Bruno Guimaraes because he's been subbed out. Here stated 48 minutes, potentially ankle injury. I think this is one to monitor. If you have Visa Walter Mede, you can see there they're just going to share minutes. Gordon again sub out around 70 plus minutes. Newcastle did win this game, okay, against PSV, who scored this Newcastle game. I forgot who scored against PSV. This is the
Gordon and Wissa. Gordon and Wissa and who's that? Harvey Barnes.
So Gordon scored the Champions League game, but in Premier League, he blanked.
I think he's got like 5 Champions League goals or something, but like not a single goal in the Premier League. But then when you have this kind of performance, oh Howie, I love you so much. I'll give you the start again in the Premier League. He got subbed off early as well, together with Sa. Although Walter Mede is not there, so he didn't start. So you would think, okay, Gordon and Wissa, they both got and Joe Linton all got subbed off in the 72nd minute. At the same time, I could see because Newcastle do play Villa, so Joe Linton and Gordon definitely will start against Villa. But will Walter Mede start against Wissa? Will Wissa start instead of Walter Mede? I would think Walter Mede would start and not Wissa for this one. So yeah, but Bruno's injury, we both have him, so needs to be looked at. I don't think he'll be there for this weekend. Yeah, so it's a quick and in light of Newcastle's really tough run of fixtures, do you want to, it might be the appropriate time to sell him.
Yeah. I think this is the last game week before the fixture turning. Let's take a look in terms of fixture ticker. At least we have some perspective in how the team should be moving forward. This is the next 6 game week from 23. A lot of people are talking about fixture swing in 24 for some team, especially the likes of Bournemouth, Chelsea, even the United, because they're facing Arsenal this game week. So let's read out this team. I think at the top, Bournemouth, but they're facing Liverpool this game week, so not the nicest entry point. Tavernier is also potentially injured. So who else you're gonna get into your team? So I don't think there's a clear option for Bournemouth player. For Crystal Palace, the same situation. Their team are decimated right now. He already went to City. Monteta has declaring he wants to go in this January transfer. Glances negative comment, so it doesn't help in terms of Palace. But size back, so whether he can be an option, it's not the nicest entry point because they are facing Chelsea. Brighton, we did talk about potential Brighton assets, but who we should go? I would not then recommend Minte. Potentially Mitoma, Pascal Gross already returning to Brighton, but you can see their fixture: Fulham, Everton, Crystal Palace, Villa, Brentford, and Forest. You can say there some good games, but also can be a mixed bag. Chelsea, I think this is the one. Crystal Palace last week against Brentford. Then after that, 24 and 27 that people really want to target: West Ham, Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley before facing Arsenal in game week 28. For Everton, I think there's some excellent fixture here for the next 6 at least. Leeds, Brighton, Fulham, Bournemouth, United, and Newcastle. I think the first 4 could be an excellent one. People like Indaya could be coming into attention. He should be back after his winning the AFCON with his country. Villa, Newcastle at 23, maybe not the greatest entry point, but after that, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Leeds, and Wolves. Pretty exciting if you want any Villa asset, especially Morgan Rogers, someone who Azmin had. City, after Wolves, they will face away to Spurs and Liverpool before facing Fulham, Newcastle, and Leeds. They have some fixture, but Wolves could be the last game before you move on their assets. Arsenal, United, Leeds, Sunderland, pretty much you going to have triple assets from Arsenal, and they still have some decent fixture. But other than that, Newcastle, Spurs, and Leeds at the bottom, last bottom 3. Newcastle, especially people who have like Bruno G, his injury could just speed up for us to move on from Newcastle team. They face Villa, Liverpool, Brentford, Spurs, and City. Everton in next 6. Same goes for Spurs. They face City, United, Newcastle, and Arsenal in the next 6. And Leeds, not so much people will get target. Fixture ticker, it's going to be a complex getting the right players in 23 if you need to make some move.
Definitely, and when you look at it, actually, when you look at the all the way to 5th, Everton's fixtures for the first 4 aren't bad. You got Leeds at home, then Brighton, then Fulham, and Bournemouth, who have just the players are dropping like flies. The thing is, Everton are very unpredictable. I totally didn't expect them to win against Villa. Yeah, then they got getting trashed before that. So just trying to find. Just now you mentioned Ndiaye as a possible option. Yeah, so if we get the news and then he's ready to play, then I think Ndiaye could be a great fit there. The thing with Chelsea, we're talking about the fixture swing starting game week 24. Arguably, it's already started. Game week 23 is already a fixture swing because Crystal Palace are 13th or 14th, and the team is all over the shop at the moment. We don't know what's going on. We have an idea what's going on, and it's not pretty. And the thing with these fixture tickers is, if you look at the table, between Brighton are at 12th, Liverpool are at 4th, and there's only 6 points separating in between Brighton and Liverpool. So the teams are, even though the fixture ticker is there, it's not as far as you like to think. So you really have to consider all the matches and the state of the teams that are in play before you make your decisions. I just like to point out Spurs down there who have a bad run of fixtures. They are also like 14 or 15 in the table or something. So that's a win or die for Thomas Frank there. You know, they playing away to Burnley. They got to win that. If now Burnley just fresh off drawing blood against Liverpool, they're gonna fancy the chances against Spurs. So if that could be curtains for Frank if he ends up losing that, because the next after is Manchester City and Manchester United and Newcastle, Arsenal, you know. So if he wants to buy time, that
coming up.
if he can't even win against Burnley, I think that's it. Curtains for him. Burnley, I don't know who your first choice keepers are, but you might want to consider Dubravka there for against Spurs. You know, it's something to think about. Aside Crystal Palace, I wouldn't touch them at all now. We really, they just lost Gui as well, so who knows what's how they're gonna perform with Glasner throwing a tantrum. Brighton, it's just too hard to figure out who's gonna be the player who does well, who scores. So that's why a lot of talk has been about Chelsea. Because Chelsea, we know the players, we're more confident of those players. So this week's fixture ticker ain't that great, I guess you could argue, because Bournemouth are at the top, but then they're ravaged by injury. Crystal Palace with the situation of the club. Brighton is very unpredictable. Figure out who to do. That leaves Chelsea as someone that if you do, we will have that. Everton again, not so sure because they're quite unpredictable as well. Although NDIA could be the picker. Then you have Villa. That is the one that you probably more feel safe in investing. So Villa, Rogers, he's not going anywhere. Watkins, every season manages to fight off some pretender to the throne. Marlon gone also. Previously, it was that young guy who but end up going to Saudi as well. So Watkins, Rogers, even Cash, if you want to go, I think it's because they've safe. Then your City, we don't know that midfield. There's so many people in midfield. Although arguably you would think Semenyo and Doku definitely will start that one. So if you want to go for someone against it, it's fine. But then you have Arsenal down there who probably already have 2 or 3 players already. Yeah. So the fixture stickers not that great for FPL this week.
I think 24 is the right swing that people are looking at. But this is what it is right now. But you might need to force to make some transfer based on the injury that pop up into our team. I just want to give shout out to some people already with us following the stream. We have Rakat FPL. We have FPL Hippie here. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. We have Azmin, Mama Azmi. Assalamualaikum, waalaikumsalam. So thank you for joining. Fixture ticker is this. Let's go to the Gameweek 23 fixture, the projected goals and clean sheet odds. But I just read out the fixture for this game week first. We have opening matches, West Ham versus Sunderland this week. So I think that's an important match, especially for West Ham. They got a result last week away to Spurs. They want to continue that momentum against Sunderland. We then have Burnley versus Spurs, like you mentioned, a critical match for Spurs, Thomas Frank career especially. But Burnley are also desperate for points in the relegation battle. Bournemouth versus Liverpool, an interesting match. Both teams will go for it. We have Brentford versus Forest. Forest also keen to get those points, but Brentford want to bounce back from that Chelsea defeat. I think the biggest one for this game week for sure, Arsenal versus United. Other than that, we have Fulham versus Brighton. City on paper, the best fixture for this game week against Wolves. Newcastle and Villa are going to be a tight match. Crystal Palace, Chelsea, London Derby, and Everton facing Leeds at Hill Dickinson Stadium. In terms of projected goals and clean sheet, the best one is City with 2.78 against Wolves, despite their bad form, but they need to get a result this week. They also predicted to keep the highest clean sheet odds this week with 43%. Other than that, who else? 1.93, Arsenal against United. Arsenal are expecting to score at least a goal, if not 2 against United. And then we have Liverpool against Bournemouth, 1.86. I think those are the top 3 projected goals in terms of clean sheet this week. Other than City, we got 37%. Arsenal keeping a clean sheet against United. I'm not too sure on that, but both teams are going to go for it for sure. Other than that, 34%. Spurs keeping clean sheet against Burnley. Brentford 30%, 33% against Forest, and Everton could keep clean sheet against Leeds United at 32%. What stand out for you, mate?
Well, you're looking at that city thing, it just flies in the face of the fact that the Wolves are actually on a 4-match unbeaten run. They've drawn three times and won once. So I just felt the goals thing is a bit too much. Yeah, but the CS, sure, I don't think you'll be fielding your money for this one. 6% is terrible. But then it's also ignoring the fact, City are not playing with their first choice centre back pairing. Their midfield have struggled to score goals. They're coming off 2 back-to-back losses. So, is it really that high? I don't know. I'm not confident. Yeah, I mean, for me, but I'm happy that I don't have more than currently I have Donnarumma and Haaland.
You definitely got to play Donnarumma, right? At home against Wolves.
I don't know. I just mentioned Burnley against Spurs. I might play Dubravka. So I was serious about that. It's just that Wolves are feeling it at the moment, and City are not feeling it. Obviously, the gulf in quality is there. You would think, quality will triumph in the end. But I just think the percentages are not as high as a bit too high, without taking into account recent events. All the other matches, they're pretty much there. I do think United's goals potential could be a bit higher given how well they performed against City. But again, coming back to that logic, City were missing 2 of their centre backs, their first choice centre backs. Arsenal won't be. Yeah, so Everton leads about even. Yeah, that's about right. The West Ham Sunderland match, which is definitely going to be that interesting one. Will Nuno continue to fight it off, and as other managers get kicked out instead? I like that, but again, I wouldn't be investing players in there. There's no obvious team where you would like to jump into to invest players in for this week. You wouldn't want to bring in Spurs players. City, you already probably have, or not even sure what's going on there against Wolves. Then Leeds are against Everton. Yeah, again, it's not a sure thing. And West Ham versus Sunderland is also tough. So yeah, you're right. Not a great week to jump into.
It's going to be a lot of close call. You can see that West Ham, Sunderland quite close to prediction. Goes one. Fulham, Brighton, they are close, clean sheet and goals predicted. Same goes for Brentford, Forest, maybe slightly advantage to Brentford at home, but Everton is also close. Yeah, Crystal Palace and Chelsea not that far away.
Yeah. So when you're looking at these fixtures, you think the last week's results are the ones that would have happened this week. For this week, all these draws and low scoring. This looks more like the match, more like the fixtures that kind of scenario would happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So talk a bit about captaincy choice. Azmin mentioned who captain 23. Senang, right? Haaland. Tapi happy. It's an interesting one. Captain is Semenyo. City are predicted to score highest in terms of predicted goals. Why not Captain Semenyo? He definitely going to start this game week, right?
Hippie, I just want to say I did read your Blue Sky post, by the way. So yeah, I saw that you were captaining Semenyo, and I have to back you for it. Obviously they got shocked by United last week, but we've seen that Pep is willing to play Semenyo. He played him straight off. Don't mention that. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I already have Dogu, so it's not an issue. But yeah, I'm comfortable simply because Haaland doesn't look it. But then at the same time, recognizing the fact that the fixture is just too good, and we know that Semenyo didn't play at all midweek, so most likely he will start, and I'm sure he'll be one to get into the goals in the Premier League. Yeah.
Means if let's say we are thinking about alternative from Haaland, but which match should we target? If we want to target Liverpool, is playing away. Arsenal and United are playing each other. Chelsea also playing away. No clear cut pick, right?
That's the problem with this week, and that's why I predict most people will still default to Haaland unless the press conference confirms he's rested. So the theory now, let's say he's rested. Pep says, yeah, we're gonna give him a rest. Let's say. So then we can take that out and consider this hypothetically. Who are we gonna look at? Gabriel is a possible option for those who think that United against City was just a one-off. That's one. Thiago, those who have Thiago,
Yeah, I think did mention that Captain Thiago. I think that can be a good shot. Yeah.
Dex, are you of the Warriors? Dex, is that you? My international team, who happens to be Malaysian as well in Seremban.
Yeah. Thiago, I think I think I like that option.
Yeah, so Thiago is definitely but people like me who don't have him. Saka is a possible option if you really think that Saka will start and United's defense are going to be as bad as ever. And last week was just a flash in the pan. That's another option. But not much else really. You can't see anything there.
Yep.
Newcastle, Villa, Spurs, Burnley. Okay, Liverpool, Bournemouth. Away, but Bournemouth are dropping like flies, the players, but the defense is still there. But it's definitely a punt if you want to go for that. Considering Liverpool's the problem with Liverpool is that they did draw against Burnley, but they did do well in Marseille. So with a new formation and with Salah back. So if you want to back that formation, then Ekitike could be someone you consider, or Words, who at one point you thought he had lepers because everyone was staying away, but now leprosy. But now he's on the run. He's on the roll.
Yeah. I think we already touched on potential captaincy if you want to go different from Haaland. I think the highest potential one, I think the likes of Semenyo, I think I like that. Thiago also can be a decent one. Forest can be difficult, but Brentford also a good team, right? And when Azmin mention about Saka kan, I kata, wah, berani ke tiba-tiba tak kena bench macam hari tu? Right. Okay, but then he could also be an option. But he should be playing. For sure.
Frankly speaking, if the old United was here and not the current one, I'd captain Rice for this one.
Would you captain Rice again this week after you're captaining him last week? Interesting. Right.
Wait. I just want to point out Bruno Fernandes. If you're of that belief that United are really on that resurgence, then Bruno Fernandes could be outside part for those who have him.
Right. Let's go to our team, Min. We already passed the hour mark.
Oh, okay.
This is my team. I got 0.8 million in the bank, 2 free transfer after rolling last week. Like FPL, they mentioned, Hafiz, what you gonna do with one transfer 0.8 million? My answer is to roll. But this week, potentially, I'll be forced to make the move. In goal, I'll play Kelleher over Dubravka at this point. I think that's the best decision. Playing double defense in the form of Arsenal, Timber and Gabriel. Timber sub out around 60 minutes. Gabriel did not start in Champions League match. Anderson at home against Brighton, potentially O'Reilly. Hopefully he play. All depends on the pressure. At home against Wolves. Bruno J against Villa, but he potentially injured. Foden, minutes risk. Cunha, minutes risk. Saka against United at home, potentially can also be minutes risk. Haaland and Thiago. Automatic captaincy right now is on Haaland. On my bench, Alderete away to West Ham, Mane away to City, and Potts will definitely be in my third bench. What will happen? I think I'm more likely to use a transfer than rolling a transfer. So if let's say in this situation, if let's say Bruno G is cleared lah, means that he can play, but it's very unlikely, right? So if that's that situation, the Bruno G stay, I think probably Foden will stay, but Cunha is someone that I want to move on because I'm not too sure about his minute. We discussed potentially why Carrick wants to chop and change his team. Just keep the team that won against City and see how it goes. And Cunha could continue to be on the bench. 8.1 million, 8 million player on the bench. I don't want that. So I will move him on. But if let's say Bruno G is confirmed injured, so he might be the one that I need to tackle first. So potential player that could come in, I think the one that I could go is I don't think I have money to straight away get Bruno G to Bruno Fernandes. Okay, Cunha also with one move, so I can hold that move in somewhere next week, unless there are also Cunha minutes concern Bruno G out. Because I could need to transfer and getting Bruno Fernandes in and also the rest of Enzo or Ndeye. I think that's one in my mind. Morgan Rogers could be potentially transfer in, but I think those are the players that in my mind, based on the fixture that we have a look just now. So that is the option. So in terms of ranking, Bruno Fernandes could be second, Enzo Fernandez, then Ndeye, then maybe Rogers.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say Manuel Fernandez as well. There, but can you sell Bruno G and Cunha for Bruno Fernandez and Ndiaye or Enzo? Is that possible?
I think so. Let me just try it out. Cunha and Bruno G, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
for Bruno F and Enzo or Ndiaye. Ndiaye is probably cheaper than Enzo, I think.
I can only I can get Enzo or
Ndiaye.
Yep.
Plus Bruno F for Bruno and G Cunha.
Yeah.
So that scenario will happen if Bruno G really is injured.
Yep.
Because Cunha is someone you want to move on. But if Bruno G is fit, then you might just sell Cunha and keep Bruno G, right?
Yep. Yeah. But there also can be a situation where I could just leave Cunha first, roll to free transfer next week, because next week could be a different situation. So I can just get someone in, whether Ndeye or Enzo, then just play Alderete or Mane if I feel that those two players can possibly play.
But are you risking O'Reilly?
That's why. O'Reilly also can be a minute 3, right?
If there's nothing mentioned by Pep in the presser, what are you gonna just field him and hope for the best?
I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because when you look at your first two on your bench, those are confirmed starters. There's no doubt about that one. So it'll be a risk for you if you do go for O'Reilly, especially given the recent results. How Pep might want still try to shift and chop around. So yeah, you'll have to take that risk.
Betul. I think I agree on that, but possibly that's the result I'm gonna take if I don't hear any news. Just see out this game against Wolves at the home. I just hope for them really gonna start. If not, then next week is something that I can handle or take a -4. Just deal with those players.
So captaincy Haaland.
I think so. I just don't want to complicate it, but vice captain is Santiago.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's go to your team, Min. I think you have one free transfer and 3.8 million in the bank.
Yeah, I have a lot of money. I could because of selling Rice, selling Palmer for Rice. Suddenly got flash money. But that was also reason I moved for Rice, because I just wanted some dependent, secure without worrying about injury, and at the same time, I need some money to play around. Theoretically, I did sell Guardiola for ping pong, but that I didn't have to spend extra money. In fact, I saved a bit more as well. So Donnarumma, Frimpong, Gabriel Balat. So I am really seriously looking at Dubravka instead of Donnarumma for this one. I just think that Dubravka might be better. More action. I think both will concede. Just that Dubravka might be better. That's a theory I'm having, but I'm not sure at the moment. It's 50-50 really. Bruno Fernandes, Rogers, Rice, definitely. So Bruno G is the question. Kupi, Calvert-Lewin, Haaland with Tavernier injured. So definitely Dogu will come in. I don't care. I'll play him again.
Whoa.
Okay, so not an issue there. Tiao, I'll leave him on the bench, because I think Villa will have to bounce back after they got randomly hit by Everton 1-0, hit and run. So I don't think Newcastle will be able to keep a clean sheet against Villa. So if Edogu goes up, then let's say Bruno G goes down.
Okay.
Pupi should start. Tavernier injured. Who takes penalties now? Is it back to Evan Nielsen? I guess so. It's probably Evan
Ivan
Nielsen.
Nielsen, yeah lah.
Can be Pupi lah. Yeah, but then with or not, is it worth keeping with more creativity gone as well? I don't know. So Calvert-Lewin and Haaland. So I'm tempted to roll this, just because with Dogu up on Bruno G. It does leaves me with, if Bruno G is injured, but if Bruno G is fit, then I might bench Krupi Jr. Yeah, but so the question now is, do I want to save a transfer if I roll it? And the other part of me is considering bringing in Thiago, because I just really like the matchup. So I have to decide the DCL is going to take revenge at Everton. Will score against his former club.
This everything back to his club.
So because I can either sell Krupi or Calvert-Lewin. Aku kan kaya, so I can afford either one to bring in Thiago. So I need to decide that. If I need some extra funds to play with, then I'll sell DCL. If I don't mind, then I'll just sell Krupi. Yeah, that's the only. So it will be a 4-3-3 formation, I think, with Bruno G on the bench.
I think I like when you mention it. You're thinking about rolling transfer. This not like every week that you're going to think about rolling transfer. But I just want to mention, people talk about this could be the last game week for good fixture for Brentford. Let's take a look, because people are looking at
the fixtures are not great. They're right at the bottom. They're almost at the bottom of the fixture ticket actually.
Okay. Let's just have a look whether that's true. Yeah. Brentford, Forest, then after that away to Villa, away to Newcastle, then Arsenal.
Newcastle, Arsenal. Yeah, so it's not great. But it's just. But I saw them play against Chelsea, and it looks so good. They would just couldn't score. So at the attack wise lah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Fair. But I like your team. I think you should play
West Leeds. Go back. West Leeds again. Sorry, in the fixture.
Leeds. Okay. The Leeds United. Down there.
They're at the bottom. Oh, okay. That's it. Bye. Sorry. Okay. Alpha Thiago sounds good. Okay.
So I think if you're talking about rolling, you have player that you can come in. I still like Thiago. But Bruno G, if let's say he's injured, I think he needs to go. If confirmed that he's going to be out for a while. The Tavernier situation, I'm not too sure. If he's out for 1 or 2 weeks, you can keep him. But if he's out for a long one, I think you have to tackle 2 players.
Where is KDH when you need him? But Bruno G could just go for Enzo Fernandez if I wanted to.
Okay. All right. I hope it's not a trap. But I like Rogers for sure. We have Rice instead of Saka, so which is still nice. Other than that, you keep Frimpong, Gabriel, brother. You can just play them. And you have Dogu. After this Arsenal game, you need to have some extra fixture for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we take a question, mate. This is the FPL Jedi League table right now. If you want to join our committee, the league code is zwxrhj. The top team right now is the SM team with 1,346 points, is it? And he's got 45 points. 1,345, sorry. And he's still on the right side. You can see there, he has Petrovic, but Sanchez on the bench. Imagine he plays Sanchez over Petrovic. So he could easily have better points. At the back, he has Gabriel. No double defense in terms of Arsenal. He has Cash. Villa could easily get a clean sheet against Everton. Van der Ven blank. Means that 0 points. but he has Senesi and Gehi, man, on the bench. So nice. Gehi swapping to City players right now. Bruno G, Foden, he has words. I think I have to salute him. He has the balls to captain words. And he got that excellent 10
Yeah,
points.
that's what it's all about, really. He captain words. That's
Yep. And the rest blank, right? Rice, GCL, Thiago, Haaland. And I think that can be a crucial moment, right? You need this kind of instinct to captain differential and get the rewards.
yeah. He got 45 points, which in this kind of in the environment where most of us are 30, that's pretty high. Yeah. So credit. Well done.
Yeah. I think his team is good. He still has a lot of money. If let's say you don't have Saka, De La Soul, Palmer, so he has definitely money in the bank to maneuver his team.
Just for the record, you know who he sold what he brought in words for this week.
Wow.
You know who he sold?
I teka semenyo.
Saka.
Wow.
That is awesome. I gotta give props to that. Yes. Saka got benched and Wood scored. That's a swing.
And Captain Edwards. Imagine he could easily captain Saka, right?
Well,
So
yeah. Good job there. Well done.
Good job for sure. So you deserve to be on top of our league.
That kind of move, yes, definitely. I give props.
Yeah. So I just want to give shout out to the top 10 in this league. We have Beta second place. We have Agent Dragon at third place. Myself at fourth. You can see there 1316 and 1345 is like 30 points away. So it's still a battle to catch up for sure. Red to Liverpool at fifth place. 123 Go at six. Skynet 7. JW33 at eighth place. Jaramari FC at 9, and Kamikaze coming into top 10. So well done, everyone. Keep on and continue your momentum. Let's take some question before we wrap up. Question from Raka FPL on play Gakpo or Bruno Fernandes. If you have both, I'm going to play, right?
What?
If I say I have both players, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But if you really have you really don't want to touch the rest, then I would say play Bruno.
I guess so. He has a lot of routes to points, right? This season.
Yes. He's playing number 10. It's a resurgent one, even if it's against Arsenal. Because Gakpo, for all you know, he could, it's always possible that he might not get a lot of minutes.
All right. Gakpo and Cherki to Semenyo and Lefebvre for a hit. Yeah? Oh, you like it?
I like it. Sunderland against West Ham and City against Wolves. Cherki is still against Wolves, but then I don't think Cherki will start.
Okay, yeah. But Gakpo can easily be the starting lineup, right, for Liverpool? Or you feel that Gakpo will share minutes?
Unless, the thing is, I don't think he can do Cherki to Semenyo. He can do Cherki to Lefebvre, but not Cherki to Semenyo. So that's where the points are coming from.
Azmin says yes. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, for a hit, right? Yeah, for a hit may not be worth it. Sure, to be fair. Yeah.
We mentioned about Thiago captaincy. I think we like it.
I think it's a great idea. I like it. I just don't have him and trying to figure out whether I want to bring him and just straight away captain him.
Yeah, but we know the mass market gonna go for Haaland. Gehi predicted to get a price drop. People sell him. Am I missing something? I think Rakavia has Gehi in his team. You should keep him. I think he can be an excellent player, right?
I'm missing something as well because you should keep. I mean, with the injuries going, we'll definitely go into the starting lineup.
Yeah. I agree with that. Gakpo to Rice. I like Rice for sure.
Oh, yeah, Rice, obviously. Yeah, Rice better points and he's central and takes all the dead ball situations. So definitely, yeah.
Cherki keep or sell. I think with his minutes, a risk. I think
Sell.
I'm going to sell. I think for me. Ben White as a punt, I think is just not worth it because you're not sure. Timber will always be the first lineup for Arteta on the right side. So I don't like this.
No. I mean, just and because he might start 1 week and that's it, you know. So no, don't like it at all.
Words finally get his flair back. Agree. I think Words on the rise. It's just
Yep, I agree, and I'm very happy. It's just I don't have space for him.
Ah. But how about VVD? Virgil
Bruno G towards boleh je.
Okay. How about Virgil, man? Virgil to Takasti. Virgil, yeah, I think Virgil lah. Liverpool nak
Yeah.
play PPG, right?
Everton's fixture is not that bad, but yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
Okay, other than that, Azli asked whether who are a cheap and good defense. Cheap to 4 million ke? Can I see that?
I don't know how cheap you want to go.
Okay, tapi what I'm thinking, if let's say one cheap and good, I think Mukele is not bad at 4.4.
Yeah, the Sunderland defenders lah.
If I'm going to suggest someone, I think I'm going to suggest him, Mukele, at 4.4. Invest a bit more than underrated at 4.1. That's what I feel.
West Ham and Burnley for the in the next two, but after that they play Arsenal and Liverpool, so not that. But yeah, but Sunderland defense.
Lost position, they ask Neto, Pedro Neto, I suppose. I think it can be a good one, but I think Enzo Fernandez could provide a better value at 6.5.
Yeah, that was definitely the player who is performing more often than the rest. But I'm just not happy with the role, and I wouldn't go for him.
Neto potentially can 5 minutes with Estevao, probably. But I just take a quick look. 7.1 million, Pedro Neto.
The other thing is because Pedro Neto is at risk because they are under new management. If it was still Maresca, then Neto is a secure thing. But under the new management, not secure.
Yeah.
Then a bit.
Only one double-digit haul so far.
Yeah, he's consistent, but he hasn't done any much hauls.
Okay.
That's right.
Last but not least, Matt Olsen asks, what are your thoughts on selling Thiaw to Chalobah? I like it, but I think Thiaw still have excellent value. What do you think?
No, because it's just that Chelsea are gonna embark on a great run of fixtures if they haven't already. So I'm definitely happy. And Thiaw are about to, after this week, their matchups go downhill. So yeah, this week also they play Villa. It's not exactly a simple matchup either. So yeah,
but at least they're playing at home lah.
At home lah. Yeah, true. At home it is a difference. So yeah, that's it.
All right, we come to the end of the stream. So pretty excited. Thank you all for joining the stream. Do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel to support us. Your last word, man.
Yep, it's almost midnight over here, and I'm happy with my current frame of mind than I was on Monday, where I was tempted to just sell Frimpong and be done with it after buying him 2 days beforehand. But just remember that I do think the final Champions League matches, for those who are there, will have a bearing on this weekend's lineup. Yeah, with only Arsenal, the one confident of the top 8 position, comfortable, but the rest, they will want to win to secure their top 8 spot. So it does cause a bit of issue or challenge for this weekend. So watch the presses and make your decision, and good luck.
All right. Thank you again for joining our stream. And whatever decision, okay, believe in your thoughts, believe on your instinct, and hope for the best. Good luck to everyone for this week. Until then, take care and bye-bye.